Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending OCBC's Spring Ohigan Seminar for 2023. This session will be in English. If you are looking for the Japanese language session, please find the link on our website, orangecountybuddhist.org/BEC. You will also find on our website a download button for the handout that Dr. Haneda has prepared to help you follow the lecture. Our speaker, Dr. Nobuo Haneda, is director of the Maeda Center of Buddhism in Berkeley. When he was a college student in Tokyo, he was inspired to study Buddhism through his encounter with the writings of Shuichi Maeda. Dr. Haneda's essays appear in the Dharma Breeze newsletter and in his book of the same title. He teaches a weekly online class from the Maeda Center, and he has been a frequent guest speaker at BCA temples, including OCBC. Sensei, welcome.
Thank you for introducing me, Jim. Let's begin with Gassho. Namandabutsu, 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 Namandabutsu. Thank you for introducing me, Jim. It's a great honor for me to be invited to your Ohigan service again. I've been invited to your temple almost every year over the last 20 years. It's a tremendous honor for me. And this year we've been having lots of rain here. And it's good for my vegetable gardens, but sometimes we feel it's too much rain. And we are also having a very cold weather here. And this is one of the coldest seasons over the last several decades, I think. Sometimes I want to run away to Hawaii. Anyway, no choice but to be here. Okay, let us study Buddhism, and let us please look at the topic of my lecture today. It's Shakyamuni and Shinran, Buddhism as a teaching of self-examination. It's a very big topic, and but you know, I want to present you the core of Buddhism. I believe Buddhism is a teaching of self-examination. So before I get to the main topic, main parts, I have the introduction here, and I posed one question here. That is, did Shakyamuni and Shinran teach the same teaching? So I want to start my discussion by talking about this question. Then we have lecture and main lecture, and the main lecture consists of two parts. And okay, we usually study the two teachers, Shakyamuni and Shinran, in our temples, and we have special services celebrating the birth and the death of these two teachers. And I have often received the question, are Shakyamuni's teachings and Shinran's teachings the same or different? This kind of question arises because sometimes we feel their teachings are different. For example, in the Dharma school teachers often talk about Shakyamuni, and they tell children that Shakyamuni taught us to become good persons. So you must try to become good persons. But after the Dharma school, and we attend the adult services, and the ministers in the service would often say, Shinran Shonin taught us to become evil persons. And Shinran Shonin taught us that even a good person attains birth in the Pure Land, how much more so the evil person. So Shakyamuni teaches us to be good, and Shinran teaches us to be evil. Are they teaching the same teaching or different teaching? So naturally, this kind of question arises. So, if we think about these two teachers, they are certainly different, like time-wise and place-wise. Shakyamuni lived in India, Shinran lived in different centuries. And more importantly, concerning the terms these teachers used, they are quite different. For example, Shakyamuni often used terms such as impermanence, selflessness, and conditional arising. But Shinran Shonin seldom uses those terms. And Shinran instead uses terms such as Amida Buddha, Pure Land, Shinjin, and the Nembutsu. But the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni did not use those terms. So naturally, it's quite natural we have this question. And so there are so many seeming differences between them. So many scholars, many Western scholars say Jodo Shinshu is a deviation from the original teaching of Shakyamuni. So we have to ask this question, are they teaching the same or not? And then what is my answer to this question? I will answer, yes, their teachings are the same, exactly same, in spite of the differences concerning the time and the place they lived, and in spite of the differences in their use of vocabulary, I believe they taught the same teaching. That is, they taught one thing, examination of the self. And one Zen master famously said, studying Buddhism is studying the self. Studying Buddhism is studying the self. We cannot define Buddhism in any other way, okay? Those so-called Buddhist tradition, if they don't talk about self-examination, they are not authentic Buddhist traditions, okay? So one question, what am I? This is the only question, only issue in Buddhism. This is the only issue Shakyamuni and Shinran dealt with in their lives. They devoted their entire life to this one issue, one question, what am I, okay? Forget about all the rituals and the ceremonies you have, okay? Forget about those things. You have to know this is the core, this is Buddhism, okay? And they devoted their entire lives to this one question, and they finally came up with the answer. They clearly understood what they were, okay? They understood what their true self was. So he talked about it. So all their teachings are nothing but the answers to this question, what am I? For example, Shakyamuni said, I myself is impermanent or conditionally arisen. Or Shinran said, I am myself is evil. I am an evil person. Those are their answers, okay? That's what we have to know, okay? So in this lecture, okay, time is limited, so I cannot talk about so many similarities. There are many similarities between them, okay? So in part one, I will just pick up 3 similarities between them, okay? Then these 3 similarities are on page 1 and 2, okay? 1 and 2. First similarity is that had the deep doubt. They took up the practices, intense practices, and they had the doubt about their practices. That's for similarity. And second similarity is that both of them finally renounced all kinds of practices. Okay, that's the second similarity. And third similarity is that after they have renounced their practices, they attained awakening. They examined themselves and they had answer to the questions. They had awakening experience. These three are the similarities I briefly discussed in part one. Then after finishing that, I will, in part two, I will discuss the third similarity. Their similarities concerning their self-examination and their awakening experiences. Okay, that's what I want to do in this seminar. Okay, now let me start with these three similarities between Shakyamuni and Shinran. Both teachers left home, became seekers of the path, and performed all kinds of practices and came to doubt their validity. Okay, and let me talk about Shakyamuni first. Okay, middle of this following information, I want to start from the fourth line. At age 29, Shakyamuni renounced secular life and became a seeker of the path, visiting spiritual leaders of his time and studying under them. He engaged in yogic meditation and reached the highest level of samadhi. Being unhappy with this meditation practice, he abandoned it and took up ascetic practices, but came to have deep doubt about the validity of all traditional doctrines. Okay, Shinran's case. Okay, let me begin from the second line. At age of 9, he became a novice monk on Mount Hiei, where he studied and practiced Buddhism for 20 years. Eventually, he was put in charge of a meditation hall designed for intense practices such as meditation and chanting. However, Shinran started to have deep doubts about traditional teachings and practices. So these teachers are very much similar in doubting the traditional practice. Then, and next one, okay, renunciation of traditional religion and practices. And Shakyamuni, having spent six years in performing various practices, he abandoned them all, thinking that gaining wisdom, gaining the right view of the self was the most important thing. He sat under a tree to examine the self. So his meditation is examination of the self. Not the design for enjoying the peace of mind or enjoying the trance or something like that. It's different. Buddhist meditation is strictly asking this one question, what am I? Okay. And Shinran same, having spent 20 years in performing sundry practices, he abandoned them all. Thus he realized that gaining wisdom, gaining right view of the self, not practices was the most important thing. And Shinran, following the Shinran's words, describing the abandonment of all traditional practices. Okay, number 3 section, okay. Their awakening experiences. And as I said, okay, part 2 is a further explanation of this brief description of their awakening experiences here. Okay, so I'll make it very short here. Okay, so the Shakyamuni meditated under tree and examined the self, okay, whether he had this Atman, the so-called eternal self. When he understood the absoluteness of the Dharma of impermanence, he recognized the mistake of believing in the existence of Atman. So now he realized he was attached to the wrong self, the imagined self, unreal self. Then at age 35, he attained awakening and became a Buddha. His awakening means he discovered the true self, the real self, okay? He realized that the wrong self, Atman, doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's a fabrication. See? And instead he discovered the true self. He described the content of his awakening saying, my life is already spent. My old self died. And the universal working, this is the true self he discovered. So he said that through the universal working is already established. Okay, and Shinran has similar experience. Okay, and Shinran visited Honen at his dwelling. So Shinran said that this meeting was the most important thing in his life. In meeting Honen Shonin, Shinran experienced Shin awakening. Okay, Shin means the true self. Okay, Shinjin means the true self. Having met with his teacher Honen, he learned from him that hearing and understanding the Nembutsu, the Namu-Amida-Butsu. Namu-Amida-Butsu is a calling voice, challenging voice from the Dharma. See? This voice says, come to the Dharma, come to the Dharma, or come to the Buddha's wisdom. Okay, this is something Shinran heard. Okay, Nembutsu is something we hear. Namu-Amida-Butsu is a command. See? It's an imperative sentence challenging us. We have to hear it. Okay? It's by hearing alone, Shinran says, he had this Shinjin, true self was awakened. Okay? And he said, he described the content of his awakening by saying, my life is already spent. See? I'm sorry, that's what Shakyamuni said. Okay? And having heard the meaning of Nembutsu, he attained Shinjin, true self. Okay? Actually, I discuss later, but Shinran said, my old self died. Okay? My old self died. And the new self, I attained birth. See? Birth, rebirth. The new self is born. Okay, that's about it. Okay, part one. And there are so many similarities. Okay, and I had one seminar to discuss all kinds of similarity between Shin and Shakyamuni. There are many other similarities, like their dynamic life. They had tremendously dynamic life after their awakening experiences. Shakyamuni and Shinran share so many things in common. But today that's not my main topic. So let me move to the next topic. Okay. Okay. Here, part two. Okay, part two. So I have this subtitle here. Okay, Shakyamuni and Shinran had similar awakening experiences. So this transition from the unreal self to the real self. So the examination should end up in our experience of transition from the unreal self to the real self. Okay, so so in part one, I just discussed the three similarities concerning their doubt of traditional practices, and second, their renunciation of those practices, and the third, their awakening experiences. See? And the most important similarity is the third one, okay, we just discussed. The most important similarity concerns how the two teachers examined the self and attained their awakening. So in part two, I want to further explain the contents, okay, contents of their self-examination. as I already said, okay, the content of their awakening experiences is a drastic change in their spiritual basis. The spiritual basis, their spiritual basis changed from that of the unreal self to that of the true self. I believe that this transition is the core of Buddhism. This is a central issue. We say, oh, self-examination is most important, but still ambiguous. Okay? What is self-examination? What is the real kind of concrete meaning of self-examination? Specifically, it means a transition from the unreal self to the true real self. That's what I kind of briefly mentioned in the life of Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni said, my life is already died. Atman died. I discovered that Atman doesn't exist. Now I discover the true self, real self. Okay, so same thing happened to Shinran. So this is only thing important. Okay, other issues are not important. This is only issue. Okay, so no, this is year's new resolution for me is to just concentrate myself on this one issue. Okay. What I'm going to discuss, from now may sound a little difficult or something new to you, and because you think Buddhism is more offers all kinds of theories, I'm saying this is only issue, and you don't have to know any other things if you just know this one issue. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you might be confused by the simplistic way I'm talking about this Buddhism, but I believe, okay, I'm trying to devote my entire year or next year too to this one issue. And this is the issue that all the meditators say, spending 10, 20, 30 years to understand this, okay? And Shinran spent many years, but this is the issue, okay, only issue. And so for them, Shinran says, Shinji is the most difficult. This issue is the most difficult, okay, Shinran said. Among all difficult things, this is the most, see, so it's not the easy issue. And I'm sure some of you may be a little confused or puzzled after my presentation, because my teaching sounds like very simple or simplistic, but, this is what I consider the most important issue. Okay, so I'm taking this opportunity. I make using this seminar as a good opportunity to organize my ideas. Okay? My ideas not fully organized. Okay, I'm trying to organize. So I appreciate this opportunity to kind of think about this issue deeper, and I'm trying to kind of struggling to organize my ideas about the two types of self. Okay, anyway, it is not the easy issue, okay? Not the easiest. This is only one issue that the Zen meditator spent 10, 20, 30 years, only this one issue, okay? And Shinran spent many years just to understand this one issue, Shinjin, real self. Okay. Okay. So now, before I discuss the similarities between the two teachers concerning their awakening experiences, to prepare ourselves for that issue, I want to explain the differences between the unreal self and true self. Okay. Now, what is the unreal self? Okay, page 3. I have this, section A. Okay, page 3. Actually, entire section on page 3 is explanation of the unreal self. And the next page, page 4. Okay, first section is my explanation of the unreal. Real self. So, so we compare these two types of self, okay, and that's how we study, okay, by comparing them. We study the differences between these two types of self, okay. So Buddhism talks about this unreal self, and this unreal self can be described with all kinds of words. Okay, Atman, no, basically Atman, and this unreal. I use the word the dualistic self, or I could use the words like imagined self. See, imagined self, or fabricated self, or conceptualized self. Okay, so maybe dualistic self or conceptualized self. Okay, that's what I mean by the unreal self. And on page 4, okay, the real self is the opposite of it. Okay, this, I have this another word here, original self. This is a term Zen people like to use. Okay, or in Jodo Shinshu, Shinjin self. Okay, so anyway, let me begin from page 3 and A. Now, let me read the first one and 2 here. Okay, this conceptualized self does not exist here now. When Shakyamuni mentioned anatman, no self or selflessness, he was talking about the absence or unreality of this self. Okay. It's unreal and non-existent, but we believe initially, we believe it exists. And next line, okay, we are usually aware of this self as myself. So whenever you think I, my, me, see, this I, my, me that I usually think I have, that this I refers to this unreal self. Okay, and so we are usually aware of this self as myself. Okay, now let me go to page 4 and real self. Okay, number 1 and 2. This self always exists here and now. Okay, this self always exists here. This is a self that Shakyamuni meant when he said, "Don't rely on human beings." Me, Shakyamuni says, "Ananda, you shouldn't rely on me, the human being. You should rely on the Dharma and the self." He said, "Rely on the self." See, Shakyamuni said. So in Buddhism, self is sometimes seen to be negative and to be negated, like selflessness. But in other contexts, Shakyamuni talks about this self as something very important. Okay, so rely on the self. When Shakyamuni said rely on the true self, they don't rely on the Atman, imagined self. And this is a self that exists with us all the time. Okay, this self has never departed from us. But unfortunate thing is that we are not aware of it. Okay, this is a world. Okay, this is a self. Okay, this is a self. Okay, this is the world of this unreal self. And true self, the true self is going this way. This is impermanence. Okay, world is this impermanent. Everywhere, everything is moving. Everything is moving. Okay, and this is a dharma or impermanence. Okay, everything is moving dynamically. And Buddha is a person who is one with this dharma, say moving this way. But this self, unreal self, is creating this cocoon, the cocoon or shell, okay, and have all kinds of fixed. Nothing is fixed outside of this, okay? Everything flow and change. But here, all these values, okay, plus value, this self is creating, and this is a world we are making, and we are thinking this is our self. Okay, I know what is good and evil. I know what is right and wrong. This self is kind of bragging about its knowledge, but true self is here. This self is going to this direction, and this is a self, okay, kind of hidden. It is always with us here and now, but we think this is our self. We are just honoring this and ignoring this. In that sense, it is hidden and undiscovered. And we are yet to discover it. That's how Buddhism explains, okay? Okay, that's the basic differences, okay? Basic differences. Now let me move on to the next differences, okay? And maybe I should add something here, okay? And this self, okay, this self, yeah, let me read the third one here, okay, page 4, okay. This self is one with the truth of impermanence. Sorry, this is a page, you know, I should start from page 3, okay, page 3, number 3. Okay, page 3, okay, this is the unreal self, okay. This self ignores the truth of impermanence or conditional arising, okay. Okay, let me read all of this together, okay. This self is permanent, independent, and autonomous. This self exists like a line stretching from the past to the present and from the present to the future. This self ignores our physical or bodily existence. This self is alienated from its environment or external world. It has a subject-object dualistic relationship with the environment. Okay, so let me read the number 3 on page 4. Okay, this self is one with the truth of impermanence or conditional arising. This self is impermanent, dependent, and not autonomous. Okay, no, these are exact opposite. Okay, and this self exists only in the present moment, or this self exists only as the present moment. And this self is always aware of our physical, bodily existence. This self is one with the environment, the external world, or the entire universe. See, so you notice all these 4 items are being opposite and contrasted. Okay, contrasted. So let me explain each of these 4 items here. The first, page 3 again, and number 3A. This self is permanent, independent, and autonomous. Okay, so this self, okay, this self ignores this dynamic reality and create this world, and this world is fixed. Consists of fixed values. Okay. As I told you, in the actual world, outside this, everything is moving. It is only in our mind that fixed things exist, fixed values exist. See? Is there anything fixed? See? Even the stones and pebbles and even these desks are moving and changing, okay? Scientists will tell us everything in the state of flux, okay? But it's only in the mind, this something fixed exists, okay? And we consider something permanent, independent, okay? And autonomous here. But nothing is, so this self is not independent, not autonomous, not permanent. See this, see the total opposite here. See, so for example, this self, see, I have illusion that I have something unchanging in myself, a permanent self, and I'm independent. I exist by myself. Can we exist by ourselves? can we exist by ourselves? If sun doesn't exist, air doesn't exist, water doesn't, how can we, we cannot exist even several minutes. See? It could immediately die with the sun or air or water. We're totally dependent beings. See? Shakami told that everything, we are all independent on things, interdependent. See? But this has illusion. See, I can see. So ignoring the truth of interdependence or conditional arising, impermanence. Okay. So, see, then this self exists like a line stretching from the past to this self believes that, see, this is the present time, this is the past. So past, present, and present to future. See? So this self believes time exists like a line, like this line, this line. But this self exists like this. See? This dash. See? Time, see, this moment, see, this flash-like moment, this 100% reality, 100. See, this is the only reality. This is only reality. See? Not like this, some kind of substantial substance here, flowing here to here. And see, so this is the common sense way of thinking of time. See? It's called calendar time. See? So this self believes only in this time. There are two types of time. This time and this, like flow, calendar time. But this is not the real time. It's just we use this idea of time, flow of time for convenience. But this is not real time. Okay? Real time is always this dash. Okay? Each moment, this time. 100% real time. But here, this person has kind of lukewarm way of understanding time. So this person is actually living this time, but he thinks always about past and said, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that. He has all kinds of remorse or regrets, shouldn't have. See? Something wrong with this. That past is gone and past time doesn't exist, but this person is dealing with this time as if it's substantial. And this thinking about future. If tomorrow that happens, what happens? I'm afraid of that. I'm worried that I'm anxious about it. See? Worried about who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe we are not alive. See that, but we think about some kind of time, future time, as some kind of substantial time. It's an illusion. Okay, only time we have is this time. One moment. We don't have two moments. Never two moments together. One moment at a time. This is all we have, okay, in our life. And past and futures are memories and expectations are all in this present moment, okay? Past memories are here, now, okay? We think there's some kind of substantial, see? So this person spent a lot of time, okay, dealing with something gone and something yet to come, okay? And neglecting this present time, the only time, real time, okay? Aren't we doing that? We spend most of the time recollecting fond memory, nice memories, and all kind of bad things, and regrets, and and future time, or expectation, hope, or anxiety, or fear. We spend so much time in dealing with the time that doesn't exist. Okay, that's probably this stuff, but the real time. I'm talking about this real self. Okay, here on page 4. Okay, this self exists only in the present moment as a present moment. This true self, real self, is nothing but this present moment. Okay. Okay, going back to page 3. Okay. C. This self ignores our physical bodily existence. See? Our bodily existences are always reacting or responding to the environment, causes and conditions. Okay, our physical existence always responding to things that are happening here now. Okay? Body is always here. Okay? All body is always here. But this mind spending so much time in worrying about future or dealing with the past things. See? This person is bodily existent. Body exists only here and now. If he wants to worry about something, he should worry about the present bodily existence instead of the mentally flying around to the future or the going back to the past. See? So this mind is kind of arrogantly flying around all the places all the time, okay, and forgetting this bodily existence. If we know we are bodily existence, we are so much limited, okay, so much limited. We are kind of humbled. If we know we are nothing but bodily existence, see, if we are nothing but bodies, we get thirsty, we want to drink, we get hungry, see, desires are controlling us, see, body is controlling us. Mind cannot be so, or be arrogant or to be freely moving around, okay? So recognizing that we are physically existing, that our physical existence is totally controlled by the conditional arising that taking place here now. So important, okay? But this mind, forget about this physical existence. See, like a kind of romantic or I don't know, idealistic, and we believe this self is our true self. Our true self has something to do with the body here now. Okay, and D. This self is alienated from environment or external world. It has a subject-object relationship with the environment. Okay, so it's very important. Okay, this self is a dualistic. Okay? Always plus minus. Okay? This self is dualistic. So always self and others or subject. Object. This duality takes place. This is a world of duality. Two things, subject, object. And the I and environment, this side, internal world, external world. It's a duality here. See, this self creates it. See, but this, look at the next page, okay? Real self, see, real self. Always, I'm sorry. This self is always aware of physical existence. This self is one with environment, the external world, or the entire universe. See? The true self, this true self, here now, it's one with this world, with this universe. Okay? This issue of duality, oneness or duality. This is a very important issue. So I will further elaborate in the next section. Okay, next section. Okay, now let me move to the 4. Okay, 4. This self, going back to page 3. Okay, 4. This self is one step behind. This self is one step behind the real self. It is like a spectator that is objectively watching the real self. This self is objective. This is moving before this, so quickly moving here. And this is one step behind this, okay? Okay, before I go further, now let me read that page 4, okay? Real self, okay? This number 4, this real self. This self moves very quickly, okay? The self here, that exists here now, okay? This moves very quickly. This self exists as a new, fresh, and creative moment. I said this creative moment, okay? And this self exists as unrepeatable moment, unique moment. Okay. Apart from this repeatable moment, there is no other form of actual life for us. Think about this carefully. Okay? Think about this. There's nothing same in this world. There's nothing identical in this world. Okay, I have trees outside here, and this tree has thousands of leaves. No two leaves are identical or same. Okay, all leaves, all human fingerprints. See, no fingerprints are identical. Nothing in this world are identical. Okay, same way, the moment we are experienced, each moment we are experienced here now. Okay, this is a unique moment, unrepeatable moment. See, we are in the year 2023, March 18th, and such and such time. See, this second moment. Each moment is unique. No two moments are same or repeated. Okay, that's why I said the true self exists as a moment, now moment. It's always new, fresh, and very creative. Okay? And creative. This is the kind of life we have, okay, or the self we have. See? But unfortunately, we identify ourselves with this self. This is not the actual self. This is a self that is one step behind this true self. Okay? And let's go back to the first, page 3. Okay, so this self, okay, this self number 4A, this self. Let me read that again. Okay, number 4. This self is one step behind the real self. It is like a spectator that is objectively watching the real self. This self creates all kinds of dualistic values, such as good and evil, likes or dislikes, subject, object, and arising or perishing. On the basis of dualistic thinking, this self becomes attached to fixed values. Okay? I call this the dualistic self. Okay, so there is dualistic thinking. Actually, Buddha would tells us that dualistic thinking is not wrong. Okay, Buddha doesn't say we should eliminate dualistic. Dualistic thinking is not the problem. Okay, problem is that dualistic thinking creates these dualistic values, and people become attached to them. These values. If we just have this feeling, oh, that's nice, good, then that disappears. Okay, but once we say, I like it, it's good, then we start to think it should be that way. It should be that way all the time. We become attached to the things that the dualistic has created. Or attachment to dualistic value. Attachment is a problem, okay? So you have to be very careful here, okay? And many people think, oh, Buddhist teacher tell us to eliminate our dualistic thinking. No, we can never eliminate dualistic. See? But this self consider the dualistic values are so important, and seeking plus values in life is the purpose of life. That kind of attachment to dualistic, attachment is the problem, okay? That's what I want you to know, okay? And so next one is this self is like a cameraman who takes photos of each movement of the real self and creates another unreal or conceptual world with those photos. Okay, so this is the real self, but this self kind of experience this. Okay, this is so quickly moving. Okay, this self is one step behind it, takes a photo of this. Okay, photo of this, but the photos are one step behind this real self. Okay, so this self collects all kinds of photos. Okay, chain of photos, and he compiles and creates this one. Oh, I like these photos. But all those photos are the kind of residues, okay? Okay? From what happened. Okay? The real stuff is going, like rabbit is running so away, but this guy is collecting droppings or footprints of these rabbits, okay? That's what this guy is, like a spectator. Okay? And so we have to know the distinction between these. Okay, so let me go to the page 4. Okay, and so this self, number 4. Okay, this self exists as a new, fresh, and creative moment. This self exists as an unrepeatable moment. This is the only way we are actually living, and this self does not have any elements of duality, such as good or evil, pure or impure, likes or dislikes, subject or object, and arising or perishing. Okay, so number 5, page 3. This self has difficulty in life, endlessly transmigrate in samsara because of its attachment to dualism. So because attached to the values and hate these minus values, okay, so life becomes very difficult because life consists of both plus values, minus values, and minus values could become minus, plus values could become minus values could become, so maintaining attachment to these plus values is very difficult. Okay, that's the cause of difficulties, suffering. See, so for example, it is attached to good, purity, and happiness. It cannot accept evil, impurity, and suffering. See, this self can take positive values, life, health, youth, but cannot take aging, sickness, and death. See, that's the nature of this dualistic self. And let's look at the page 4. Okay. 5. This self does not have difficulty in life because it is not attached to dualistic values, being one with one reality. This reality itself is a mixture of pluses and minuses. Okay? This self does not, this true self, real self doesn't discriminate. But as soon as this self experience something, the following self, the unreal self, interpret this. Oh, I like it. I don't like it. Oh, that's good. Evil. That's a photos. They fixed photos and create this world. Okay, and we rather identify ourselves with this self rather than this true self. Okay, going back in number 6. Okay, the practices that Shakyamuni and Shinran engaged in were based on the dualistic values of this self, which tried to change undesirable reality into desirable ideal reality, impurity into pure. See, so this explains the differences in two types of self, explain the nature of the practices, Shakyamuni and Shinran practices. They renounced them, okay? And they realized that their practices are based upon this self, because this self creates plus values, minus values. So then minus values here, I am no good. I be the better person, I be a saintly person. See, so this is the reality is not so good. The ideal is good. Purity is there, impurity is there. This is impure world. This is the heavenly world. This is the world of enlightenment. That's a plus. See, so from minus to you must go. This going is a practice. See, so as soon as we use dualistic thinking and have the dualistic values, attached to dualistic values, minus values, plus values, see, you must have practices. You have to purify yourself. You have to change yourself to a saintly person. Foolish people to be saintly people. See, that's the nature of practice. So Shakyamuni Shinran realized all the practices are based upon this unreal self, dualistically thinking self. Having recognized it, they abandoned all their practices. It's stupid. Buddhism is not a teaching that talks about practices. All our teachers, the authentic teachers, abandoned all kind of practices. Then they just understood the true self. Okay, that's called wisdom. The right view of the self. Okay, this is what Buddhism teaches. Okay, okay. Okay. Now let me move to the next issue. Okay, here, bottom of page 4. Okay, bottom of page 4. Okay, here. This, as I told you earlier. Okay, this here I'm going to explain the some of the issues I already discussed. Okay, the title of this section is the crucial difference between unreal self and the real self. Okay, in regard to subject-object duality. Okay, okay. Now, this I better draw this picture. Okay, here again. This is a. So this is the true self. Okay, this is the wrong self. This is the true self. Okay, and the dharma is really outside this. Okay, outside this, and Buddhism. Okay, Buddhism is here. This dharma. Okay, dharma is challenging us and try to calling us come out of this. Come out of this. So this is making us to turn out this direction like this. Okay, like this. And finally, this Buddha is a person who embodies this true self. Okay, this is the true self. Okay, this is the true. Buddha is a person who realized true self. Okay, only that person can challenge us, okay, call us to come out of this. See? So this person is challenging us, and this true self, okay, true self, going this. See, this is awakened. This is realized. See? This is the awakening experience. Okay, but okay. So I explained these two types of self. Okay, these two types of. Now I'm going to draw another picture. Okay, another picture. This is the picture. Okay, this is the eye and nose and the mouth and the ear, and this is the head, and okay, and. This is the world, okay? This is the world. This is the dog. This is a tree. This is a human being. Let's see. This is the world, okay? And so this is the real self. Real self, okay? This is the real self. And there's another self here, okay, another self. Actually, it draws the same face, okay, same face. This is unreal. So I told you this real self goes first, okay, and this self is one step behind, say, one step we are following here, okay, and now I'm going to talk about the differences between that kind of here. This is a environment. Okay, now let me read this section, bottom of page 4. Crucial difference between the unreal self and the real self in regard to subject-object duality. Okay, so let me first start from here. Okay, for the unreal self, there is a duality. Okay? I told you this dualistic duality. So this is this is a subject. This world, okay, this is object. This object, this tree, dog, people. Okay? Here, okay, this is the world, okay, and here, this person, this is the subject, this is the inside, internal world, okay, this out, inside, this outside. See, this is inside, outside, this is the subject of, see, this is our regular self, this self, okay? This self is this self, this self is this self, or this self, okay? Okay, so the big difference is this, okay? The unreal self, there's the duality of self and the object. Okay? Here, the six sense organs, okay? Six sense organs are believed to exist in the subjective side, and six external objects, form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and ideas are believed to be existing on the objective side. Okay, so here, eyes, nose, ear, and okay, tongue, okay, or touch, okay, body here. Okay, so here, okay, here, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body. And this is the mind. Okay, these are called six sense organs. Okay, six. And here, these eyes are for form. Ears are directed to sound. Okay, sound. And nose is smell. Tongue, taste. Body is touch. Mind, ideas. These are called six objects, and these are sense organs. Okay, six sense organs. Okay. So now, okay, Buddhism is nothing but the examination of this relationship between six sense organs and six objects, okay, like eyes, these are called six sense organs. These are the six objects of this, okay? So, see, this is the only thing that meditators are meditating. Eyes, nose, ear, here, and object of eye, say, sound, ear, okay? What is the relationship? Is there any duality between this? See, that's the only thing that meditates. And I think that was the only thing Shakyamuni meditating under the tree. What am I? See, what is the structure of my being? What am I? See, this is what Shakyamuni. So in his earlier sermons, Shakyamuni talks nothing but this. See, like six senses are empty, six senses are impermanent, and all these objects are impermanent. See, that's the only thing. See. So anyway, it's so important to see. So here, as I mentioned here, okay, this bottom page 4, okay. So for this self, okay, six sense organs, okay, here. He believes this is independent. This is independent, existing separately from it. And this is the external world. This is the subject. This is the object. This is the independent, separate from this. This is the outside world, the objective world. See, this is duality here. See, that's this self, okay. So this bottom page 4 says independent. This is considered independent self, okay? Substantial self. See, sixth sense organ is believed to be regarding the six external objects. So I am seeing a tree. See, I is a subject, tree here. See, I an object, subject object, duality here. See, this is our common sense way of thinking. But Buddhism says this sentence is wrong, okay, wrong. See, we have to use the words and see, so we communicate with words. So inevitably we have to use words, dualistic tools. But in the deepest sense, this sentence is not accurate. I, subject-object duality is not real. That's what. Okay, now let me move to the page 5. Okay, now Buddhism teaches us that here, that real self. Okay, here, page 5. For the real self, there is no subject-object duality. There is only one world, one sphere of subjective mental. See, so here, this is the I and self. This is the object, okay? But here, this is the self. This is the self, true self. I exist only here. Not on separately on this side, okay? This is what Buddhism teaches us, okay? For the real self, there's no subject object. There's only one world, one sphere of subjective mental reality. And here in this context, okay, six senses and six objects of senses are working together inseparably, without separation. Okay? This is not real. Okay. And when we are born together with the whole world. Okay? When we are born with it. And when we die with the whole world. Each one of us have a unique world. Nobody shares his or her world with others. See, we common sense will tell us this world exists as something opposite or independent from our being. Okay, some kind of objective reality. But Buddhism teaches us, okay, where we are born with this world. Myself is nothing but all these things are part of myself. You cannot separate these things and sound and smell from myself here. This is myself. This myself, it consists of this objective part and subject part. Cannot be separated. These are interdependent. Not like this, separate. Independent, interdependent, conditionally arisen here, but this is separate. Okay? All meditators just discover this self. Okay, so here, 100 people have 100 different worlds. See, million people have million different worlds or universe. We are born with this world. When I say I in Buddhism, when Shakyamuni says I means this. Not this. See, this is so important. Okay, let me read the third one, okay? The real self exists at the contact point between these two. Contact point, okay? Contact point between six sense organs such as ear and the six external things such as form and voice. The six sense organs and six external things are dependent on each other. These cannot function separately, cannot separately or independently. This means that I am I. I exist by myself. This independent I is watching tree that independently exists outside. This subject of duality. No. In this is I. I consist of 6 sense organs and 6 objects. These are part of myself. This world is myself. We are born with this world. Nobody shares the same world with. You are born with your own world, okay? And when you die with this world. If you think you die and your world remains, no. When I say I, my life, that means this world I'm having. I don't share this world with other people. This is myself. Trees, people, and environment, and the moon, and the sun, and moon. That's part of myself here. This sphere of cognition is myself. No independent self, separate from outside. Okay, that's what the very. So here now let me explain. Okay, not the real self. Or did I read it? Yeah, it's not independently or separately existing. Okay, now 3 sentences. Okay. Not I am seeing a tree, but an image of a tree is being reflected on the retinas of my eyes. What does it mean to see? What is seeing? We say, I am seeing. Is it the case? I am seeing? Buddhism says, no. You cannot have this full control of seeing. Seeing is I. This is I. Tree is reflected on this retina. See? So if you say, I am seeing a tree, that's not right. Okay? This contact, this image being reflected here, okay? Image being reflected, that is called seeing. Seeing consists of 2 partners. 2 partners. Without object to see, no seeing. In the pitch darkness, fishes start to lose eyes. No sound, no ears. Ear is dependent on sound. Sound is dependent on the ears. So all colors, forms are dependent on ears. These are independent. So this independent and contact, this is contact, this is reflected, and this is the functioning. So cooperation of this and this two, this is interdependent relation. Both eyes are totally dependent form. Form is different. This contact point is, if you say, I independently seeing, you can control what you want to see, but when you open eyes, it comes to you, And you can, it's too dark, this is too dark. I want to make it bright. If you see controlling this thing, you can control the something you're seeing. No, you cannot control what you're seeing. These are, interdependent. And this interdependent conditional arising means this exists because this exists, that exists. If this doesn't exist, that exists. No independent beings, okay? Everything is. So without these eyes and these 6 senses are not 6 senses. These 6 senses, because of these, this could exist. Because of this could exist. And okay, I'll give you another example here. Not I am hearing a dog bark, but my ear drums are vibrating because of constant contact between my eardrums and the distinctive sound wave. What's hearing? Are you hearing? Independent being here and I'm hearing? No. Hearing means sound is vibrating your eardrums. Eardrums. Can you vibrate your ear by yourself? Can you do that? If there's an independent self, no, then I can hear. I'm hearing. I can hear. Then I can vibrate my eardrum. Can you? Can you do it? No. See, hearing means that sound is vibrant. Without sound, how can you hear? See, sounds are making you hear. Okay? Sounds are vibrating your drums. You are not vibrating your eardrums. See, you're hearing my voice and my voice is shaking your eardrums. Then you cannot say, I'm controlling my hearing. See? Voice sound comes from outside you and hits your eardrums. So in that sense, voice is taking initiative, not you. Not you. See? That's totally interdependent. Without ears, no sound, no ear. See? This is totally independent. See? So everything, see, drinking too, like what's tasting? Can you taste by yourself without the object? See? That is participating in this action called the tasting. See, that the taste is stimulating my palate. Contact, this contacting in two things. Two things are equal partners, totally interdependent. How can you say, I'm taking initiative, I'm tasting it? See? You cannot just have control over things. Things are, in a sense, controlling you. See? Things are tasting, or things are, sound is hearing you, or something like that. Okay? So, everything else, touching too, touching. Without object, how can you have touching? See? So, we have to know that our common sense of thinking, subject, this substantial thing, independent thing, autonomous thing exists, and I am seeing a tree. See, two things. But Buddhism says, see, there's no duality here. This self is the one moving so quickly. This self, each moment so quickly, okay, as a fresh new moment. But this self is one step behind it and interpreting this and creating this world. And we are deceived by this. And see, we somehow have this elusive idea that this is real self. And we are not really understanding a true self that exists. See, this self is moving so quickly. And this quick dash-like moment, flash-like moment. This is the only content of our human life. This is the only thing, real stuff we have in our life. See, whatever we think as a life is all this. See, we are confusing and mistaking the real self for this one. See, so Buddhism is nothing but the challenge here. See? Our teachers, Dharma, coming, we have to meet him or teacher, see? Embody, realize, the person who realized himself, and come out of this, discover to realize yourself. Your true self has not departed from you even a second. So you've been experiencing from the moment you are born, you are experiencing this every moment. This is the only thing you've been doing. But somewhere along the line, you started to think, this self is the true self. And you've been trusting him. This self is the one who kind of arrogance, and this is the kind of very humble self. Okay? Not the limitation. I exist only here now with physical existence. I'm totally controlled by conditions. I like to think I'm controlling my thinking, but are we controlling our thinking? No, we cannot control our thinking. Okay, things we hear or see are controlling us. Don't you think? Okay, we look at the television commercials and 5-second commercial, okay, dog food commercial, and you think about your dog, and car commercial, then you think about the car. Oh, that's 100% electricity. Or maybe I should change my car. And the next moment, baseball player appears, and you think about Giants. Oh, last year they are not so good. This year, see, every few seconds, 5 seconds. See? Things you see here determines what you think. We are not thinking independently, okay? Things we see and hear are totally controlling our flow of thinking, okay? See? So if we know that, we are humbled. See? We cannot claim I have independent self. You see, I have a strong conviction and I'm a compassionate person. I have conviction. I don't change. No, we are changing all the time. See? From moment to moment, we are controlled by conditions. That's what the Shakyamuni and Shinran tell us. So if we really understand this, we cannot have so much infatuation with ourselves. Ourselves are physically or mentally the product of conditions. See, conditions are controlling us. We are not controlling things. Okay, that's what Shakyamuni is teaching, and this is true self, and we never departed from it. See, this has been all the time with us while we are alive. Okay, and this is moving so quickly. No way this self can catch up with it. This self is always behind it and interpreting it. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's terrible. I hate it. They create all the within all the past things. See, he comes up with all dualistic values, fixed values, using all the things that they are all gone. Never catch up with this true reality. Buddhism is discover this and appreciate this world. This is yourself. Your whole world, you are no different from this world. Okay? This world is yourself. Okay? Yourself doesn't exist only this side, only the side of the six senses. See? Self exists objectives. Totally interdependent. Contact point. This eye contact point is called seeing. The contact point, eardrum vibrating, that is called hearing. Apart from seeing, hearing, and smelling, and tasting, and touching, thinking. Here now, okay, no other form of real self, okay? This is only self, okay? But this self wants to be another self, ideal self. See? I want to become a Buddha. I want to become a saintly person. See? And in Buddhism, I want to seek Shinjin. I want to seek enlightenment, something you don't have. Buddhism tells us, see, ultimate enlightenment, Buddhahood or Shinjin is already here now. Dharma reality. The true self is already here now. But the problem is that you're not seeing it. You're confusing it with unreal self and trusting this self. That's why our teachers tell us, come out of this and awaken to your real self. Okay, that's what our teachers are telling. And now I have one more section to discuss, but seems like I don't have much time here. Okay, bottom of page 5. Okay, bottom of page 5. Here, in this section, in the final section, I want to discuss the Shinran Shakyamuni's experience and Shinran's experience of this transition from the unreal self to the real self. Actually, during my talk, already I discussed this transition, but let me just briefly go over it, okay? Page 5, bottom of it, okay? Shakyamuni said, the unreal self is impermanent, or unreal self is empty because of the truth of conditional arising. Okay, so I earlier said, okay, because he understood the truth of impermanence or truth of conditional arising, here, everything is dynamically moving and changing, and this self is one with this self. Okay, so since he discovered this self that is one with we are controlled by conditions, okay? Then we cannot have infatuated ideas about ourselves. As I said, we like to think we have consistent thinking, conviction, see, and I don't change. I have this strong conviction, see, firm conviction. We cannot say that, see. We are existing conditionally. We are existing as something impermanent and dependently. See, a whole being is dependent. See, and we don't have autonomy. We think we like to think we can think whatever we want to think. Shinda said, even if you want to do good action, if conditions are not there, you cannot take it. Even if you don't like to take evil actions, like killing people, if conditions are there, we cannot help doing it. See, that's a limitation. That's how we're existing. Then it's humbling insight. Then, see, we cannot say I'm a saint, I'm a good person, see, I'm a wise person. We cannot say that. See, truth of impermanence, condition arising, makes us humble, humbles us. See, that's what, so when Shakyamuni says self is impermanent, self is conditioned by conditions, or myself is empty, it's a kind of confession. See, I don't have any solid, independent, autonomous self. Okay, so anyway, this is picture is fake. Okay, Shakyamuni, encountered this Dharma. Okay, and while he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, he heard this voice, Shakyamuni, come out of this cocoon. Okay? Forget about this self that we've been trusting. Atman self, substantial self. No, your true real self is nothing but the self, that the one is this impermanence, conditional arising. See, that's what you are. See, that was his awakening experience. See? So he said, my life is already spent. The universal working is already established. When he said that, see, when he said my life is already spent, he said my unreal self has died. And when he said the universal working is established, this true self is realized or identified. It's been there all the time, but he wasn't just paying close attention to it. Now he identified himself with what he really was, original self. Okay, and number 3, okay, Shakyamuni started to live the life of a real self and life. So the Shakyamuni became an ordinary person. See, if you know we are totally controlled by or made to exist by conditional arising, what else could we be but ordinary human beings? Everybody is same. Nobody is special. Everybody is living life being controlled by the conditional arising. See? Just understood, Shakyamuni just understood, I am just ordinary person. Here, this person, the unreal self wants to be something special, something he isn't. He wants to become something he isn't. Dreaming about ideal of Buddhahood, sainthood, trying to become that by practices. See, that's this step. Now, no need of practice. I'm just what I am, ordinary person. So the concept of Buddhahood means an ordinary person. Awakened person means, Buddha means awakened person. To what is he awakened? He awakened to the fact that he is an ordinary person being controlled by causes and conditions. Everybody is same. See, forget about the concept of like enlightenment or Buddhahood, okay? All people are trapped by these dualistic concepts, okay? All of us start to study Buddhism from this stage. Most of you are studying Buddhism now in this. I must say, I must be still in this too. See? And we think we create this whole Buddhisms and Jodo Shinshu, or Shinjin, the Pure Land, Amida Buddha, see, as a power. They all these dualistic ideas, dream about these things. See? True Buddhism is there to liberate us from these dualistic ideas. goody dreams, future dreams. See? Shakyamuni, when you're sober, awakened, I'm just ordinary person. Everybody is living their ordinary life. That everybody is not aware of it. I'm now awakened to the fact I'm an ordinary person. I'm a person. See? Totally controlled by conditional arising, impermanent. Everybody is the same way. That's what he understood. No need of words like enlightenment or Buddhahood. Nothing special. Just become ordinary person. Isn't that what Shinran said too? See? And I have this quote, form is emptiness or form is impermanence. But these two quotes from Agama Sutra or Heart Sutra, these are the standard expressions. But what Shakyamuni is saying here is that there are no substantial, no, people think this is substantial, six senses, six objects, separate. But Shakyamuni says, no. Form means this, form represents, this is empty. There's no substance. This six sense organs are empty. That he's saying, no duality here. Everything is interdependent. See? This is wrong. This subjective six senses here, and this objective. This is wrong. Shakyamuni says, this is empty. This is empty. See? Totally, this is interdependent. That he denies this. This is empty. So no self. This is no self here. Okay? No entity. Just this is it. That's what Shakyamuni. This is the only thing Shakyamuni teaches if you read the early teachings. Okay, he repeats this dozens of times. He doesn't say talk about the other thing. Just this. If you understand this, no duality here. See? That's what Shinran is the same way. Okay, Shinran is the same way. And Shakyamuni said, I am impermanent. But Shinran said, I am an able person. Same thing. See? Shinran was humbled by the truth of impermanence. Okay, Shinran encountered the Dharma, same way. See? The truth of impermanence. And Amida Buddha, when Shinran used the word Amida Buddha symbolized this truth of impermanence or conditional arising. Okay, Buddhism never talk about two types of truth or three types of truth. One truth, the reality of change, impermanence, conditional arising. See, uniqueness of Buddhism is that Buddhism talks about one Dharma that is called impermanence or conditional arising. That's what Amida Buddha symbolizes. This truth is challenging us. Okay? In discussing our encounter with the Dharma, Shinran said, in the preceding moment, our life ends. In the next moment, we are born. Okay? His words, our life ends means that we experience the death of the unreal self. And when he says, we are born means that we experience the birth of the real self. This means that we fully recognize the real self, the Shinjin self, that has always been there from the time we are born. See, so Shinran, he meant Hone embodies the spirit of Dharmakara or Amida Buddha. But this power, this is other power. Other power means truth of conditional arising. The other one means truth of conditional arising. The Dharma means conditional arising. Okay? That's the only thing Buddhists talk about under the name of Dharma. Okay? And Shinran met Amida, the other power or conditional arising. Then this Namamida, which means come out of it. They forget about this self power. This is the self power. They come to this other power. See? Shinjin having this born of this self awakened and born means that this self, myself died. See? And new self is born. The same experience Shakyamuni had. There are no two different selves. There's only one true self, only one self, true self, and only one Dharma. Okay, and Shakyamuni encountered the same Dharma and have the same self awakened. Shinran, same thing happened to Shinran. Okay, and the following section I have the let me just read. Shinran started to live his life of the real self, a life of an ordinary person without any infatuation with the self. Do you remember Shinran often said, I'm not a monk, see? Neither a monk nor a lay person. I am just a foolish, ordinary person. Why did he say that? Why did he say he was an ordinary person? Why did he say he was an evil person? What a foolish person. Because he realized he was existing because of causes and conditions. Conditions are making him exist as he was. So at the bottom of this page, if certain conditions are there, if certain conditions are there, I could take any action. If conditions are there, conditional arising is controlling us. So if conditions are there, I could take any action. I could take actions like killing people. Then how can I say I'm a good person? How can I say I'm a good person? To be able to say a good person, you must have consistently good fixed values in you. But can we have that kind of good fixed values? See? We may thinking free, we think free, we think we can be that. Thinking is very free, but realistically, we're having this physical existence, see? Limited existence, all kinds of desires. How can we become a good person or compassionate person? Is it more real to say that I'm an evil person? That by that he means I'm a unpredictable person. I don't know what's going to do. See, I'm very whimsical. See, my mind is changing so quickly. See, that's how I'm an ordinary person. See, so no, please read these couple of quotations here. Shinran is talking about the dharma of conditional arising. Okay, so the last message I want to say is that we are considering this self as a master, and we are considering this true self as a servant. But what our teachers are telling is that reverse this or the role of the self. See, you must have this true self become your master, and you must consider this self as your servant. See? Dualistic thinking is nothing wrong, okay? The values, attachment to dualistic values is wrong, okay? Dualistic thinking could become your servant, and see, Buddha uses this dualistic thinking very well in his teaching. See, he uses dualistic thinking. A lot of words are dualistic stuff, okay? So he uses the words of dualistic thing. So Shakyamuni is his main body is this true self, but this true self is a master, and using dualistic thinking for his purposes. Okay, so role of this, but unfortunately we are so much attached to this, and we trying to understand Buddhism on the basis of this self. Okay, some people never get out of it. And I have to add that this discussion I have today may sound new to you, and some of you may be a little difficult to understand. This is the most important issue, and probably the most difficult thing in our lives to realize. See, self is closest here all the time, true self, but so difficult to discover this self that is always with us. See. So the meditators spent 20, 30, 40 years just understanding this. See, it's not the easy issue. Shinran says Shinjin is the most difficult thing. Among all difficult things, Shinjin is the most difficult. I'm not saying this is an easy thing to understand, but this is a core. This is everything in Buddhism, self-examination, discovering true self. See, apart from this issue, all other issues, doctrinal issues, totally peripheral. of secondary or thirdary importance. Okay, so I consider this the topic I have to really dig in throughout this year or next year. I hope, see, if I haven't been able to convey what I really wanted to convey to you, but one thing I want you to know is that this is the core of Buddhism, see? Self-examination, two types of self. Okay, so I hope you really concentrate your efforts on this one point. Okay, if I've been able to convince that point, I think my lecture has not been unsuccessful. Okay, thank you very much. Namandavats. Namandavats. Namandavats.